results.
I do feel like that's kind of been their main problem, right? It's like they're just like the way they adapt Singapore is just not the quickest, right? I mean, they'll try something for a while, it won't work, and they'll stick with it. And then when they make an adjustment that works, I feel like it's just too late. They just run out of time.
Yeah, and they did have good moments in the last map where they did have that counter rush against China that worked out pretty well. They punished China for an overextension, but we just need to see that a little bit more consistently out of them, because right now, from what we saw in the last map, it does feel like China has a considerable edge going into Hanamura.
Hanamura, definitely a map that is pretty unforgiving. You know, when you get caught at those gates, there's really not a great route to get through. So it'll be China on the defensive side of things. You'll see YJP running that Mei again. Gave so many problems for Singapore there on King's Row. Now Jamli running that McCree is very effective on it too. So China going with a comp that they know is very effective, very efficient. Now we'll see what Singapore decides to do. Colbat running Winston would be a little bit of a change, and that one I would actually be one I'd like, because Winston's great on this map to initiate.
It's really weird because Colbat yesterday was really just locked in the Pharah no matter what, and today he's been playing a bit of everything, swapping around almost too much, where it's one thing to have a little bit of variety, but hey, we said swap off Pharah a bit, not never play Pharah again and play 5 different heroes.
Yeah, so it's going to be Singapore locking in their comp. It'll be Colbat going with Pharah, and they'll have Camus going with the Mercy. So we'll see if he's able to open up any holes in the defense. Now look at Penge. Such a sneaky spot there. He's going to have to back up. And look at this. It's going to be a fast push here from Singapore. It's going to be China rushing back towards the point. It's going to be Des, though, dropping quick. And now you see Penge getting some help as well. It's going to be Lincoln and Co. for China coming through. So it was a good initial push from Singapore. They got over towards the point. Once they got to the point, was not able to make anything happen. And it's going to be China getting an early first wipe.
And let's talk about Jamli's target selection there, where not only did he immediately go for the Mercy, one of the highest priority targets that McCree can take out, he also went for the Genji right after. So Jamli really playing this pretty well, taking out what he needs to. And this is the instant replay. Takes down Pamu, gets onto the Genji. Just beautiful textbook McCree play coming out of Jamli.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing all the way in the back. He's not really touched by anyone on the side of Singapore. And we get back into the action, and it's going to be Singapore flying in fast and aggressive. You see Pengu trying to stay alive at the top. It's going to be Reborns on this Genji, able to take him out. And now you see Singapore, they've got some high ground control, and now they just have to deal with Jamli, because he's putting so much damage down here as McCree for the side of China, and it does not seem like they can get anywhere close to him. And Reborn's getting close to that Dragon Blade, and he gets it. We'll see if he brings it out. You're going to see a res come in there with the side of Singapore, and now you see a Graviton Surge come in, but here's, I was going to say, here's where the damage is done, and there is nothing to be done by that Dragon Blade. Quickly shut down by Jamli in China.
And that was actually the worst case scenario there for Reborns, because if he had died just a millisecond earlier, he actually would have saved the ultimate. Unfortunately, that wasn't to be. And also when it came to the res came out right before the Graviton, so all the timings there for Singapore not really working out, unfortunately. And take a look at China right now. China, they are really loaded up on ults here. The war chest about to be very, very full, and Pangi going to be in a great position here to land an Earth Chest and run in, and there it is.
And it's going to be 2 minutes left on the clock. You see a lot of kills going in the way of China as this team fight does not start out well for Singapore. That Earth Shatter comes in, just ruins everything they were trying to get done there, and Dowd is going to have to back all the way towards the spawn. And now in this next fight, ZP, you'll actually see China, they do have that Blizzard inside of Singapore. You see, I mean, you have that Primal Rage Winston, you have Colbat with his Pharah ultimate, but now that they don't have Mercy, the Pharah has not been too effective.
No, it absolutely is not, and take a look at YJP right now, going to the back, neutralizing this Winston, rage or no rage, holding on to Blizzard. Meanwhile, it's Jamli in the back, takes care of the flanker, clears the skies, and Jamli is on a roll.
Yeah, he's just absolutely crushing in this one, 15-0 to kick things off here on Hanamura. And Singapore cannot get through the gates, and even when they do, just not able to pick up the kills. Now we'll see Jamli in a perfect position here. He's been using that window to get some nice advantage. And Singapore, they do have that nano boost, but YJP actually holds on that Blizzard through the last fight, so as soon as that nano comes in from the side of Singapore, it's going to be stopped, and you hear that Blizzard comes through. He gets boosted up there, a little bit too high, tries to turn, take out Reborns, gets a flashbang on and nails one shot, but it's going to be the recall there. It's going to be Doubted, picking up one, so Singapore's gotten through. Now they have the nano boost to use as well. They need to make this work, Singapore. They need to get on the point.
They absolutely have to get on the point. They have less than a minute remaining, almost less than 30 seconds. They do get a few pickoffs, so this is what they need. They're going to have some respawns coming in a moment, but they can't really lose much more than what they've lost. And China is still fighting around this point, but Kolbat still in, rolling in as the tides start turning here for Singapore. China just losing player after player, and now China in a rough position. But the Earth Shatter comes in. Pangi not giving this up just yet.
Yeah, but he's taken out quick. Doubted is fully charged up as Zarya. If you're China, you just got to give up on this. Back out. It's going to be Singapore taking the first point here. Now they're going to have an opportunity to go attack in towards the dojo. Now 4 minutes to go. It's a decent amount of time, ZP. China, they hold on to their nano boost. We'll see when they decide to use that. YJP getting very close to another blizzard. Singapore has nothing to work with right now, but getting dangerously close to having some good combinations. Look for that Graviton Surge combined with the Reborn's Pulse Bomb. When that comes up, be a devastating combination they can throw on the point.
And they're rolling in right now, not wasting any time, trying to get some momentum, but Mengmao taking out Kolbat immediately. Is a brawl here, X. But here's the problem, is that when you lose a few members on the attack side, you're not gonna have the momentum you need to actually take the point.
Yeah, but Singapore, they do get some ultimates out of that one. They don't waste anything too essential. You have Reborns with the Pulse Bomb, and you will have Doubted with that Graviton Surge. It's that combination I was talking about. And quite frankly, I mean, Kolbat, look how close he is to Death Blossom. You're gonna have the Death Blossom, you're gonna have the Pulse Bomb, and the Graviton here. You can combine any one of those to really be a good combination here to open things up for Singapore.
And that is what they're going to be looking for. China, they're actually a little bit on the lower side in their alt war chest, so this is a big opportunity for Singapore. If Doubted can land that Graviton to set up his team, it could be good times. And don't forget, Reborns is holding on to that Pulse Bomb, so the Big Bang combo, which is Graviton in the Pulse Bomb, very much in play.
You see Pangu jumping down now. He switches over to Winston, not going to have that Reinhardt for the side of China. It's going to be Mengmao opening things up, though. Taking out Pangu there. That's a big kill. Mengmao with another one. You see a Graviton comes in. China doing a good job holding here, and they do actually get Singapore to burn that Graviton. And it's interesting. Singapore, they use the Graviton, and you don't see the Pulse Bomb or the Death Blossom combined with it. That's really odd for me.
I just think the coordination was a little bit lacking there. Maybe something got messed up on comms, but one thing I really want to point to is look at Mengmao. Look at how charged up he is. If you thought he had top damage on his team, he does. This has been a high damage dealing Zarya, and he's been the silent star of this map here so far for China.
Now we'll see if China can get another hold here. 2 minutes to go. The first half, Hanamura. Map number 2 of this best of 3. You see Mengmao up top. He drops a beautiful Graviton. Jamli trying to take players out with the Deadeye. Connects on a few, but not able to take anyone out. And there you see China, though, quickly cleaning up players of Singapore. Singapore, obviously, it's a fast push that gets shut down quickly. Now, you see, though, they do get some ultimates, though. They need to combine these EP. They have a good group of ultimates to combine together. They just have not been able to do it this far.
They haven't been able to do it just far, and they're going to have about 2 attempts to do it. Really, though, they have one good push left in them, and that's going to be the push where they decide to use their ult bank and try and get through here. And it's going to be probably Pomyu into Kolbat that's going to be their best chance of doing this. Nano boost in the Death Blossom. We've seen it a lot, but it is still Singapore's best hope as they roll in. Sunbear can come in, but what a beautiful ice wall to split them apart. And here comes China once more.
Yeah, it's going to be YJP splitting them off of that ice wall, but there comes the sound barrier from the side of Singapore, but they have 2 players drop. As soon as they use it, it's going to force Kolbat to back up towards Revenant, trying to stay alive, and Jamli, they take out Das to split off from the team, and a just uncoordinated push there from Singapore. It's another hold for China. 47 seconds left, ZP. What can Singapore do?
Singapore is in a bit of a hole here. They use Sound Barrier and Death Blossom, got nothing on it. They're really just going to have to hope for a huge Earth Shatter Pulse Bomb setup here. China, they have the Blizzard, so even if China's in trouble here, they can throw that on the point and really stagger respawn. So this is going to be difficult, but here comes Singapore, their last chance on the table.
Now you see Jamli on top with Deadeye. This is a perfect spot to take advantage of it. He's going to be able to take down Kolbat. The Blizzard comes in. Remnant drops as well. Nice play there by Jamli, dropping down with the flashbang on a Reborns. 12 seconds left. That might have been enough there for China in the first half to get a win.
That is almost certainly going to be it. You cannot cause overtime when everyone is dead and this far back, but you can take a Winston on the ride just for the fun of it, but that is certainly going to be it. A good hold here coming up from China. Now, all China has to do to win the series is simply finish out the map.
Yeah, just need to get both points here on Hanamura to win for China. Very good defensive effort from them in the first half. And really, Jamli there at the end with his McCree, very effective, 25 and 2. the side of Singapore, you've definitely seen their play improve from yesterday, right? Yesterday we saw them struggle. Today they come in looking like a little bit of a different team, definitely improving some. It's great to see some of these teams obviously have a lot of time at the practice area, able to get some good scrims in, but man, that weapon accuracy there from Jam Lee, 50% on McCree, that's pretty sick.
Jam Lee was going off in this matchup, and you look back at what he did on point A, just really good target selection, high accuracy where it mattered, a big powerhouse here for this China team. But again, for me, my personal hero there was Meng Mao. He still finished out with the most damage over it, was 29-2, and set up his team with great gravitons all throughout. So Meng Mao, that was just a heck of a showing.
Yeah, I mean, a top-flight Zarya can really be game-changing, right? I mean, you saw it right there from Meng Mao. Is able to just take over the game with Jam Lee. And now China inching closer to starting their group up 2-0. And we saw this a little bit yesterday from Singapore. They went with a Symmetra on this map. Now you will see Callback go with Soldier. So definitely some adjustments from day to day here from the Singapore team.
We are seeing the adjustments, and we are seeing that some teams still like running Symmetra here on these points, and Symmetra is always a gamble, right? Where you are sacrificing some of your first defense power for the idea that you will be able to get the teleporter up, and your team will be able to reinforce more easily if anyone does get picked off. But it does mean that China has a really good chance of taking this on the first push, especially if they're able to capitalize on the lack of battle power coming out from Singapore.
Yeah, I feel like it's really risky for Singapore, Ryan. I mean, there's just not a lot of damage on this team with Symmetra there. And then obviously Callback will be able to put down a lot of shots as Soldier, but to just finish off some of those, heavy targets that China's going to have, especially Mei. I mean, Mei can take a ton of shots. YJP will be running Mei here on offense. And it looks like China just getting ready here. They're seeing if there's a Mei on the opposing side. There's not. They actually try and wall off and get into this right room. And quickly they're able to take advantage of the Singapore defensive setup. And things falling apart for Singapore here early.
This is just not a great start by Singapore, but it's an amazing start by China, able to get through, get some early kills. Singapore is fighting back right now, but the problem that they have, even as Pullback picks up too, is that there's not too much in the way of burst damage on the Singapore defense, which means that it's going to be hard to finish kills, especially as China starts restreaming onto the point. And even though China's lost people X, they're going to have a respawn advantage here in just a moment.
Well, Singapore actually gets that teleporter down really fast, so you'll see they're going to get right back into the fight, but they do not have control of that gate area. They're letting China just get right up onto the point, and this does not look good from a map control standpoint here for Singapore. It's going to be a lot of pressure coming in here from China onto the point, and they are focusing Reinhardt fast. They want to drop Doubted. Takes a ton of damage. See Meng Mao back up. The Blizzard comes in from YJP on the point, forcing the members of Singapore off, and it's going to be 3 kills for China. They should be able to get the first point here, ZP.
They are absolutely going to be getting this first point. Lucio going to be going down towards the very end, and now China, look at all the momentum, X, that they're going to have going into point B. They're going to have the Graviton, they're going to have the Death Blossom, and the Nano Boost, and Singapore, they might get a sound barrier up in time, and they will have a nano boost. But again, you take a look at who they're going to put the nano boost on. They don't have anything crazy for burst damage. They can put it on the Reinhardt, but China should have an answer to that.
Yeah, if you're Singapore, I think Reinhardt is obviously your main target here for the nano boost. So you see it come in, but the Graviton Surge comes in from Meng Mao on the side of China. Nice sound barrier there. It's going to be Jam Lee up top, dropping down with the Death Blossom as he gets nano boosted. He's able to get 2, just trying to stay alive on the point, trying to get back, keep his supports alive, but it's going to be Remnant just diving towards the back line, able to take out 1. And you do see, though, it looks like China winning most of these engagements, but it's going to be called that up top with that Soldier ultimate, able to take out 2, trying to finish off the last, but Jam Lee comes from behind, takes him out, but Singapore gets a hold. China doesn't get a tick on the point, so that's a very nice hold from Singapore.
It was a nice hold, and even though towards the end Colbat did get a taste of the people's elbow, Singapore able to hold on here, and they didn't even give up a tick at the very end. So this is pretty good here for Singapore. They're able to withstand the wave from China. China, though, they still have 5.5 minutes, plenty of time on their side. They can restore their ult bank. But for Singapore, who was really fighting for their tournament life here, this was a good start.
Yeah, I feel like if you're China, you just can't get flustered here. You just got to be patient. And as soon as you get that first blood there in this fight on a Remnant, this is where you need to go. But they are caught in this hallway, and Colbat picks up YJP, who switched things up. He's gone over to McCree, and see Doubted's going to fall down. These are fights that Singapore is winning now yet again on the defensive end. But going into this next fight, they'll only have the Graviton Surge for the side of Singapore. Actually, they'll probably get the Winston's Primal Range as well, but still, you're going to have China with that Earth Shatter, and they're going to have the Nano Boost. They could throw things in their favor and end up taking the map.
They absolutely could, and you take a look at China right now as they're setting up. Their ult bank isn't quite where it should be. I kind of feel like they should be going for a little bit more of a junk rush here, maybe bait out that Graviton. They have so much time, X, that they can actually build up a full 6 ult and go for a really high-quality push. But here we go, next fight underway, Reborn's gonna get the Graviton, pulls in 4 people, attaches them to the ceiling, and here comes Singapore.
Reborn's just shooting up in the sky there as he sends the players of China for a ride, and he's doing a fantastic job on Zarya, fully charged up, laying down tons of damage, applying the barriers to his supports, able to keep them alive. But here comes China. YJP jumps onto the point. He's able to get one. Zhang now on Reaper, just cornering Colbat as Soldier, but here comes Doubted, Nano Boost. Now comes a Graviton Surge there, but that charge there from Doubted sends Mengmao flying. Another hole there from Singapore, and now we're starting to get into dangerous territory here for China.
It's dangerous for China, and China did expend some resources there. They did use a Graviton, but they still have more ults coming up than not. So again, for China, I think they just calm down a little bit, wait to get more ults up and go from there. They still have a decent amount of time on their side, but X, if they lose this next fight and throw ults into it, I think then it is more of a danger zone moment for them.
Well, here's a question. If they do not get anything out of this fight, China, do you think they should change their comp up a little bit? Is there anything they can go to really try and force some things in their favor?
You could go for the surprise Widow or so they get early picks, but the next fight is underway. YJP looking to take out the backline, doesn't quite get, but it's going to be Mengmao again to double kill. Jambly falling to the bottom. It's a bit of a scrappy fight here, but China definitely with a bit more momentum. They haven't lost too many people here just yet, and the Deadeye in over the top. YJP going to get taken out by Colbat, though.
Yeah, but Colbat takes him out as well. And you see Pangu on the point. He gets nano boosted as Reinhardt going for a charge there, just trying to knock players back. Lands a flame strike, but he's going to be knocked down. As you see, Doubted comes into the point. He's going to be nano boosted as well. It's going to be Singapore just trying to stay alive, and they do a fantastic job of that. Reborn's coming in, and Doubted cleaning up the players of China on the point.
So you're wondering if China was going to change anything up? Well, I think they found their change up here, X. The one and only Bastion is not coming onto the field. It was a trap all along. It's actually going to be Roadhog, so that will be their switch up instead.
I was like, if you're trying to get a pick or trying to engage, I don't know if Bastion is the best opportunity to do so. Just trying to engage, get more mobility towards the point. So they do have YJP, who's going to go over and now use Roadhog, and potentially he can get in, get on up this top bridge, pull one of these players down from above, and get that early first blood that China can use to just kind of dart onto the point.
He is going to be looking for that early hook, but I gotta say with China just having a little bit of indecision there, I don't know if they are really confident this, but they do get that hook in. Don't immediately capitalize, but they have Singapore a little bit out of position. Mengmao with the kill, it's now 65, and this is one of the best opportunities China has had all map long.
And I feel like it's quite odd. I feel like at the beginning of these fights, you see China, get a first kill, and then they don't really take that great advantage of it. Oh, a nice hook there, though, from YJP. This is where they need the strike, and he's actually going to be put to sleep there, but it's going to be 2 kills in favor of China. You see a Death Blossom coming out there from Zhang. He doesn't get anything for it, and now you're going to see Pangu. He's going to be nano boosted, gets onto the point. Doubted charges into him, but it's going to be a fantastic job from China to protect him. This is where they win the game. They have 5 players on the point. Just need to take Revenant here as he gets down onto it. He's going to be nano boosted as Winston trying to jump up. It's going to be YJP knocking him off with the whole hog, and that does it. It's going to be China taking Hanamura in the series.
So as it turns out, the Roadhog switch up, very effective. I don't think Singapore was prepared for it. And I'm not even sure China initially wanted to go to it because they did have indecision on the Bastion, but in the end, it's a Roadhog gambit, getting the pickoffs they needed, letting them get that snowball, and letting them get the sort of rush in that you need to take point B on Hanamura.
Yeah, now YJP finishes that one 41-6. Chamley on Reaper for most of the times goes 50-6. Just some outstanding performances from those two guys. I think